Yesterday, I had a pleasant surprise in that something took me a lot shorter and it was a lot simpler than I was expecting. And I found this over and over again when building, in that it's hard for a human being, particularly one who's lived as long and has done as many different things as I have, to really understand sometimes how difficult or long certain things are going to take, particularly as the machines have very little sense of time. So they'll often tell you something's going to take 2 weeks and it takes 2 minutes. And so in my system, which is called MAI, I started out by using Claude Code. And it was like a system for using Claude Code. So Claude Code is obviously a harness which does stuff. And really what MAI is it does lots of different things. It's got a security guard on it. It creates context automatically, simply from doing the work, and then it reads that context as well. But it does it in a very specific way, which makes it more accurate and much more deterministic. Or much more deterministic, so it's much more accurate. And also it uses a lot less tokens because so much of the process, so much of the system is done by software and happens automatically. Really, my idea, where I'm trying to get to is not relying on AI to create the memories whenever it feels like it, and also for the context of whatever it is you're doing, the project you're doing, or what it knows about you, to just automatically happen in the background ambiently, and then be read automatically when it's needed. This kind of ambient magical memory. There are other things too. There's a growth loop in there, and there's an orchestrator, and there's lots of other things. But essentially, that's one of the main parts of it. And at first, I was just doing it in Claude Code, but then pretty soon I realized I did not want to be dependent on just one lab. So I expanded and adapted the entire system so that it could be used in Codex from OpenAI. And it's been running like that for a while. So now it's completely independent of both. I mean, you still use both. So I can use Claude Code in either the Claude app or the terminal. I can do the same with Codex in the app or the terminal. I tend to personally use Claude Code in the terminal just because I like it, prefer it there. And I tend to use Codex in the ChatGPT now app, or the Codex app. But yesterday, I decided to add Pi. So if you've heard of OpenClaw, I'm sure you have, everyone went absolutely bonkers about it. Well, Pi is the thing that OpenClaw was built on. Essentially, it's an agent that kind of builds itself. And so I decided to get Pi itself to build the adapter for the MyPy adapter. Because essentially what originally my system was very locked into Claude Code. And what we had to do was kind of pull out everything and then create an adapter for Claude Code and then for Codex, so that my can kind of change up here, and all that needs to happen, instead of having to create 3 apps every time, you change my and it just gets adapted. And so the pleasant surprise was I was expecting this to take days, a week, and it was essentially done. There's a few little tweaks and things, but essentially done in just a couple of hours. So now I can open up my here on the left-hand side. I type my pi. What's this task called? My pi demo 2. And this here you can see all of the skills, or the pi skills, sorry, the my skills that I've got. Now I'm going to ask it a question. Hello. What do you know about me? So what it's doing now is it's getting the context from not a static file, actually computing the context from the events that I've been created. So this will never go stale like a file will, because it computes the context. So that is pi, so I can continue in here. And at the moment, I've got the model set to GPT 5.6 Sol. But obviously in pi, I can use any model from, I can use a local model. I've got a few local models on here. So that means that if the internet goes off, or if, I don't know, the US decide that they're going to ban this, that, or other, I've still got access to the intelligence that I need, which is fantastic. So let's do the same over here, but with Claude Code. Let me ask the same question. What do you know about me? So remember, these are two different harnesses. There you go. And as you can see, it's the same. And once again, instead of it reading from these static files, it's actually reading from an event system. So when something changes, that the event will change what it knows about me. And then finally, let's go to Codex. And as you can see here, I'm in the app. And this, at this point, unfortunately, is going to be slightly different. I'm still fixing it over here in this lane, in this Codex parity lane. And as you can see, this is slightly different at the moment than the Claude Code and Pi route, because I've recently updated my system, because it was for a while still reading from files that can go stale, and I've just changed that. And Codex is the final adapter to sort out. But what was amazing to me was the difference. It's obvious when you think about it. The hardest thing was the first migration, or the first adapter, where I created, started out in Claude Code, and then I had to create two adapters, one for Claude Code and one for Codex, in order to be able to use either system. Now I've done that, it's much easier to be able to create that works in Pi. I'm going to do one for Claude Code. I'm going to do one, not Claude Code. I'm going to do, there's already one for Claude Code. I'm going to do one for OpenClaw. I'm going to do one for Hermes, and any other harnesses or anything that kind of become big that people need. It's a relatively simple thing now for me to be completely sovereign, not be dependent on any provider, to be able to use local models or different models. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm not tied to any memory system. I'm not tied to any provider. And also, crucially, these, the context that is created, the memories that are created, the ongoing work that I'm doing and tracking. Now these harnesses are simply windows into that, because I sincerely believe that what are we if we are not? How would I describe what is this thing called Mike Monday? Is it this meat suit that I'm wearing? Or if it's not that, which I don't really think it is, I hope it's not anyway, then what is it? In a sense, I am my memories. I am my context. I am the progress I'm making through my life. And I strongly, strongly believe that that cannot be held hostage by anybody else. It is mine. It must be sovereign, which is why this was the first thing really that I did. On top of that, another reason that I'm creating this system in this way is that I'm seriously concerned about a compute shortage, about the cost of tokens, and how AI has been subsidized for so long, and we don't know what's going to happen and how long that's going to continue. So much of what I've been doing in this system is about gaining independence from any other entity and about reducing my reliance and my system's reliance on token usage, on energy usage, on the amount I'm reliant on things that I don't control. Obviously, you can't do that completely. Goodness knows what's going to happen. But that is what I have been spending the tokens that have been subsidized on, is I'm building a system where I can continue working almost no matter what happens. So that's what I've been doing with all of my cheap tokens, because at the end of the day, I want to continue building no matter what. I want to continue creating value for you, and I don't want that to be dependent on anybody else's decisions or what might happen in the world. Because then I can continue moving and help you continue moving onwards and upwards.